there is a date on the American calendar that is not simply a public holiday. It is the day most loaded with historical meaning, the most emotional, the loudest, and the most festive of the entire year in the United States. The 4th of July. The day on which in 1776, in a building in downtown Philadelphia, now called Independence Hall, a group of men who were changing the world signed a document that began with the most famous words in Western political history. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. 250 years after that moment, on the 4th of July 2026, Philadelphia is going to be simultaneously the epicenter of the celebration of the most important anniversary in the history of the United States and the stage for a World Cup round of 16 match. Philadelphia will be the epicenter of the 250th anniversary celebration of the United States on July 4th, 2026, when Lincoln Financial Field hosts a round of 16 match of the World Cup. FIFA. There is no coincidence of this caliber at any other tournament venue. One city, one date, two events of historic scale, overlapping in a way no screenwriter could have invented. The stadium where matches are played is Lincoln Financial Field, popularly known as The Link, located in the South Philadelphia neighborhood. It is the home of the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFL, and also the place where Philadelphia Union of MLS play their most important matches. Last summer, Lincoln Financial Field already hosted 8 matches of the FIFA Club World Cup, including a quarter-final between Palmeiras and eventual champion Chelsea, giving the stadium and the city a perfect dress rehearsal for what is coming. FIFA for the World Cup, it receives the official name Philadelphia Stadium and holds nearly 69,000 people. The 6 World Cup matches in Philadelphia are June 14th, Ivory Coast against Ecuador from Group E. June 19th, Brazil against Haiti from Group C. June 22nd, France against the winner of the Iraq, Bolivia, Suriname playoff from Group 1. June 25th, Curacao against Ivory Coast from Group E. June 27th, Croatia against Ghana from Group L. And July 4th, the round of 16 match. Road trips. That schedule deserves detailed analysis because it has layers of meaning that go far beyond sporting results. Brazil against Haiti on June 19th in Philadelphia is a match with a human and political dimension that few encounters in world football can match. Haiti, one of the poorest countries in the world, and one that in recent years has suffered tragedies of a scale difficult to understand from the outside, qualified for this World Cup after decades of failed attempts. Philadelphia Union midfielder Danley Jean-Jacques, who is Haitian, is going to play that match in the same stadium where he normally plays his MLS matches. FIFA. That detail, that player representing his home country, on the same pitch where he is the local hero, is exactly the kind of story football produces that no other sport in the world can generate in the same way. France against the Group 1 playoff winner on June 22nd is another match that is going to bring Philadelphia a particular energy. The Haitian community in Philadelphia, one of the largest in the United States, and the Francophone community of the East Coast are going to make that match have an atmosphere that combines two worlds in a completely unexpected way in a city that is already multicultural in a way that few American cities can match. Croatia against Ghana on June 27th closes the Group L group stage and is a match with direct World Cup memory. At the Qatar 2022 World Cup, Croatia eliminated Brazil in the quarterfinals in one of the most dramatic matches of the tournament. FIFA Croatia, the small country that produces elite footballers with a consistency that defies any demographic logic, against Ghana, the African team that in recent World Cups has shown an individual quality capable of surprising any opponent. And then there is July 4th, the round of 16 match that according to the calendar could pit two world champions against each other if the groups resolve in a certain way. Organisers have noted that the July 4th match could potentially feature Germany and France, who between them have won 6 World Cups. FIFA, imagining that match in that stadium on that day, with Philadelphia simultaneously celebrating the 250th anniversary of American independence with fireworks and parades, and the public reading of the Declaration of Independence steps from where the original document was signed, is one of those combinations that needs no further explanation to understand it is going to be unforgettable. For getting to Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia has a significant logistical advantage. The stadium is well connected to the city's public transport. SEPTA, Philadelphia's transport system, has a metro line, the Broad Street line, that reaches AT&T Station, steps from the stadium. From the city centre, the journey takes between 15 and 20 minutes and is the most practical and most economical option. On match days, there will be special metro frequencies and shuttle services from various points around the city. If you rent a car, the stadium has parking, but traffic on match days can be complicated, especially on July 4th when the entire city is going to be in motion simultaneously. For accommodation in Philadelphia, the city has the advantage of being more compact and more affordable than New York or Boston, with a very varied hotel offer and prices that are generally more reasonable than at other East Coast venues. The most recommended neighborhoods are Center City, the historic and commercial center of the city, which concentrates most of the top category hotels and has direct metro access to the stadium. The Old City neighborhood, the oldest historic district in the city, with its cobblestone streets and colonial buildings, is the option most loaded with history and the most convenient for visiting sites related to American independence. The Rittenhouse Square neighborhood, the most elegant and most tranquil in the city, with its Central Park and first-class restaurants, is ideal for those seeking comfort and quality without the intensity of the historic center. And the Fishtown neighborhood, the coolest and most youthful in Philadelphia right now, with its concentration of craft beer bars, innovative restaurants, and emerging art galleries, is the option for those who want the most contemporary and most creative Philadelphia. And now the reason why Philadelphia is one of the richest experiences of all the World Cup venues. The historical concentration of the city center is absolutely without precedent in the United States. Independence Hall, the building where both the Declaration of Independence of 1776 and the United States Constitution of 1787 were signed, is the most important place in American political history and one of the most important in world political history. It is a red brick building of modest size for the importance it contains, which gives it a human scale that surprises many visitors. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the visit is free, though it requires prior reservation. Entering the room where the Founding Fathers debated and signed the documents that created the United States, and remaining in that space with that history above you, is an experience that completely transcends politics and nationality. The Liberty Bell is the most recognizable symbol of Philadelphia and one of the most famous objects in American history. The bell that, according to tradition, rang on July 4th, 1776, to announce the public reading of the Declaration of Independence has a crack that makes it also a symbol of democracy's imperfections and of the promise not yet entirely fulfilled. The museum housing the bell is opposite Independence Hall, has free admission, and has one of the best explained historical contexts of any museum in the United States. Reading Terminal Market is the oldest public market in Philadelphia, in continuous operation since 1893, and one of the best gastronomic markets in the United States. A historic building from the era of the trains that houses 150 food stalls representing the cultural diversity of Philadelphia and the region. The famous Amish of Pennsylvania with their cheeses and smoked meats and apple pies. African American Southern food stalls with fried chicken and waffles. Italian, Chinese, Mexican, Vietnamese, Greek restaurants. And in the middle of all that, the stalls of Philadelphia's famous cheesesteaks, the very finely chopped beef with cheese whiz or provolone in a long roll that is the city's most emblematic dish and one of the most intensely debated in American culinary football. The cheesesteak deserves its own paragraph because, in Philadelphia, it is almost a religion with its own dogmas and its own holy wars. The question of whether the best cheesesteak is made by Pat's King of Steaks or Gino's Steaks, the two rival restaurants that have spent decades facing each other at the intersection of 9th Street and Passyunk Avenue in South Philadelphia, is one of the most heated culinary controversies in the United States. The correct answer is that you have to try both, compare them, and reach your own conclusion. And the correct way to order is to say 1 wit if you want onion, or 1 wit out if you don't. Because at those counters, there is no time for long sentences, and efficiency is part of the ritual. The Philadelphia Museum of Art is one of the best art museums in the United States, with extraordinary collections of European, American, and Asian art. But for most visitors from around the world, the museum is also the setting for one of the most iconic scenes in American cinema. The museum steps are the ones Rocky Balboa runs up in the 1976 film, while the most emotionally stirring music in the history of sports cinema plays. Running up those steps, or simply climbing them and arriving at the top with your arms open looking at the Philadelphia skyline, is one of those moments that modern tourism calls an immersive experience and which, in reality, is simply pure joy. The Barnes Foundation is probably the best-kept secret in Philadelphia's art world. A private collection assembled by eccentric collector Albert Barnes in the early 20th century that includes more than 180 paintings by Renoir, 46 by Cézanne, 59 by Matisse, and dozens by Picasso, Modigliani, and other post-impressionist masters. The way the works are installed, mixed with wrought iron and window frames and craft objects in an arrangement that completely breaks with conventional museum curation criteria, makes the Barnes a completely unique aesthetic experience in the world. And then there is Mural Arts Philadelphia, the largest public mural program in the United States. With more than 4,000 murals distributed across all the city's neighborhoods that make Philadelphia an open-air art gallery without equal in North America. The murals are not concentrated in one neighborhood, but distributed throughout the city, turning any walk through Philadelphia into a permanent possibility of artistic discovery. July 4th, 2026 in Philadelphia is going to be the most intense, most loaded, and most emotional day in the recent history of that city. 250 years of American independence celebrated in the city where that independence was born, with a World Cup round of 16 match as the soundtrack and fireworks over the Delaware River as the backdrop. It is not an event. It is a historic moment. And being there, in that city, on that day, is going to be one of the greatest experiences that football and history can offer together. Welcome to Philadelphia, the city of liberty, of champions, and of the most debated cheesesteak in the world.